Hello everybody, today I have the redone version of When the Levee Breaks. This is just an HD redone version with the two cameras instead and hopefully the overlay of the tabs. Before I get started, I want to remind you all that I'm now on Twitch, twitch.tv/LP_music. If you want to watch me play music live, maybe teach some live lessons, talk to y'all, and have a good time. So the first thing to note about this song is that the tuning is different. It's C, F, C, F, A, C, which starting at the lowest string, usually the E, C, F, C, F, A, C. If you go to the tabs on songster.com, not sponsored or anything, but I just like their tabs, then you can see the tuning and you can hear the individual strings, because I'm not going to go through the tuning. And there are around 4 or 5, I think 5 different sections of this song if we break it up. There are 2 different sections in the verse, so that I consider those 2 different sections, which is the main. There are 2 like subsections in that. There's the little part that goes don't know what you'd really call that, because then there's the bridge, which is and then there's a little solo that goes. So those are what I'm going to be going through. And we start right here. The tabs are very specific of what string to hit. And I usually don't play it as specifically as it's designated in the tabs. So you can follow along with me or with the tabs, and it's going to sound around the same, because all these strings detuned is a little bit jumbled up anyway. So you start with this, which is the exact tabs are 3rd on the A and the D. I'm still going to call the strings by what I would normally call them, so just keep that in mind. 3rd on the A and the D, and you pull off. Then you hit the open A, followed by the open D. Then you hit the open A, D, and G. Then you hit the open D and G twice. Not the B, sorry, so. And then you hit the 3rd on the A and pull off. Then you hit the open A and the open D. Then you hit the 3rd on the A, D, and G and pull off. Then you hit the open D. And then you hit the 5th of the A, D, and G. So that whole is. Again, I'm not too accurate with it. I don't do the exact strings. I just usually just so I'm not that accurate. And also, there's not a slide. I usually do a slide from the 3rd to the 5th, but I don't hear it. I just in the song itself. I just like how it sounds myself. And also, on the end of the 3rd measure, and basically all the measures that have that one pattern, there's the 5th of the G that's played again. So the tabs look like, on the last part, you play the 5th of the G. I don't hear that, which just might be me in the song itself. So again, follow as you want to. So that's the first pattern. And then the second pattern is what I was just playing. I'm not going to go through how many times you play each of them. If you want to check the exactness, go to the tabs or just listen to the song. I will tell you a little bit more for this next pattern, which is so what that is you just stay on the third longer, basically. So you kind of just keep going. The exact tabs will be on screen right now. It starts on the 7th measure, and you have third of the A and pull off. Then you have open A and open D twice, then open A, D, and G 3 times. So, and it's kind of an up and down thing, so it's and then you have the third on the D and third on the G, pull off, and you have those strings open again. Then you have the open D, the open G twice. So all of measure 7 is again, I don't usually stick too heavily to the exact chords, and I tend to just I just kind of play however I'm feeling. So then on measure 8, you have basically the same thing, which is third of the A, pull off, then open A and D, and then you have open A, D, and G. So again, the same thing. Then open D and G twice, just a down up. So then you have third of the A and the D, and you pull that off. Then you have open A and D. Then you have third of the A, D again. If you don't pull off, you just do. So, and then you have the open A, D, and G twice. And then you have the fifth of the, I guess just A, D, and G. So measure 8 is like again, I don't really pay attention too much to the exact string, and I just kind of okay. So that's it for those 2 patterns. What happens with this pattern is it does that 3 times. It does the long drawn out. It does that 3 times, and then the 4th time it goes. So it does the normal short version the 4th time. So it does that 3 times, the long version 3 times, normal version for the 4th time, and then it does it again. Does that thing, does the whole 4 section again. So again, look into the tabs if you really want to see the specifics. But now we move on to this next part, which is with a slide. I tend to not like to use a slide because I have relatively thin strings. I've got 10 to 46 or 11 to 50. Not sure what I have on this one, but so when I down tune this much and use a slide, it kind of gets muddled a little bit, especially on the high string, which is what you use in the song. So I tend not to use a slide, but I'll teach it with a slide because that's just how the song is actually played. So the I guess I'm just gonna call it a chorus, or section 2 sounds like. Okay, and what that is you slide to the 8th of just all the top strings or bottom strings, the highest strings, the higher strings. So starting at the D and going all the way up. So E or D, G, B, E, and slide to the 8th. you hit it like that. So. And then you go, you slide to the 10th, so 8 to 10, and then you have this part, which again, this is a part I don't like to have the slide on because it's kind of hard to hit this part with having the slide on your ring finger. So, but what it is you have the same strings, so basically all the top strings or bottom strings, whatever, the high strings, D through E, and you have 5 3 and then 5 open. I tend to kind of give it a rhythm like, but the tabs just say. And I think I forgot to mention, right after you hit the 10th, right there, you hit the open strings twice. Same strings that you've been hitting. Okay? Then it goes back to the verse again. Not going to go through that. It goes back to the... And then it has the bridge. What does the chorus again? I'm just going to call that the chorus. The So it does that again, and then it goes to the bridge, which is the which is you start by hitting the open top strings, just the same as you have been, but this is only the top 3, so it's the G, B, and E. Then you hit the 12th twice with the same string, so. Then you hit the open strings again, and then you hit the 7th twice again. Then you hit open once again. Then you hit the 5th twice, 7th once, 10th once, and 12th once. I usually hit the 12th twice on that, but in the tabs it just says once. So. Again, I hit it twice, it hits it once, but it hits it twice on the second time it goes around. So again, follow the tabs if you really want the exactness of it. And then the last part is the solo that happens right after the bridge, or kind of during the bridge. It's with a slide. I'll play with the slide. It doesn't sound too good. Probably more my error than anything, but it goes like this. That first part sounds like, without the slide, it's 12th on the high E, slide down to the 10th, again on the high E, and then you slide up to the 12th of the B, and then you hit the 12th of the high E again. So. You can do it with a slide or without a slide, and then you move to do the same pattern with just the 7th and the 5th. So with the high E, you slide from the 7th to the 5th, and then you go from the B. I usually slide from the 5th up to the 7th, and then you hit the 7th of the E. So it's the same thing, just on the 7th and the 5th. And then you have the exact same pattern of the 3rd and the 5th. So you have 5 to 3 on the E, 3rd to 5 on the B, and then 5 on the E again. So and then after that you have the 7th, the 10th, and then the 12th. All on the high E. So okay. And then it does that again. And the 3rd time it does the higher part where it goes which is the same beginning. So you slide from the 12th of the E to the 10, and then you slide up to the 10th of the B, and then instead of going to the 12th, you go to the 17th of the E. Again, this is usually played with a slide, which would sound like, again, it's kind of hard. And I don't usually like to use a slide, but again, you can. So, and then the next part is, so you have the same beginning, 12 to 10 on the E, and then you have 12 to 10 on the B. So, and then you have, which is the same beginning, 12 to 10 on the E, then 12 on the B, slide to the 17th of the E, and then also on the E it's 15, hit that twice, go back to the 17th. So, that whole little solo is again, it's played with a slide, but I usually don't do it with a slide. But that's it for this lesson. If you want to know the specifics, go to the tabs on Songster, because if I went through the whole song, it would take forever. But the main parts are the and then the drawn out version of that. And then this part. And then the bridge. And the solo. But that's it for this lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Follow me on Twitch. Again, I'm probably going to be getting a Twitter soon too, so keep your eye out for that. And for now, thank you for watching.